Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Miriam Simmons, and I would like to introduce Gloria Reyes, running for the Madison Metropolitan School Board, Seat 1. As we begin, I'd like you to give an opening statement as to your educational, vocational, and civic experience which qualifies you for this office and why you are running for the Madison Metropolitan School Board.
Great, thank you, Miriam. Yes, I'm very excited for this opportunity. I am a longtime resident of Madison, Wisconsin. I went to public schools here. My children attend public schools. I have served in public service for the past over 20 years. I worked in the Public Defender's Office. I worked for the Department of Justice. Spent most of my career in law enforcement, and now I'm currently working for Mayor Paul Soglin as Deputy Mayor for Public Safety. I also cover different areas such as Civil Rights, Community Development Division, and I'm also really active in our community. I have led Centro Hispano of Dane County as the President of the Board of Directors. I am very infused in the community. I understand the challenges just based on my wide range of experience in the city and a nonprofit that we need a strong public school to make our city successful, so I understand the importance of that. I also serve as the mayor's liaison to education, so I serve on the city's education committee, and I meet regularly with Madison Metropolitan School District and UW, so I believe giving that perspective and the challenges in our educational system and also in our city and how it is so interrelated and connected, and I believe I bring that strong voice to the Madison School Board.
The achievement gap between white students and students of color is a chronic problem that MMSD has struggled with for a long time. What priorities of the superintendent do you support, and what do you believe should be the board priorities?
I do the superintendent's priority in community schools. I think is very important. Our schools cannot do this alone, and we really need to bring our community in. That includes our businesses, it includes city partnerships, county partnerships, and our community into our schools to help support our families and our students to help them succeed. As we know, a lot of the challenges that our students are faced with are happening outside of the classroom. And we need to be able to support our children both outside and inside the classroom. I think it's important for the board to make it a priority to support community schools and support and funding and budget and priorities. Really look at the holistic approach to education and offering opportunities and innovative strategies in our classrooms to support our teachers to teach in a way that our children can learn, and then also supporting them and providing a safe environment for our kids in the classroom, and then also look at and connect our children to outside resources that will support them learning in the classroom.
The issue of a contract with the Madison Police Department for education resource officers in MMSD schools is a contentious issue. Do you support having those officers in schools, or are there other ways school safety should be addressed?
I do believe your officers in our schools are needed. They bring a value to our schools. I believe that if you look at past officers who have been in our schools, like Police Officer Rossetti, for instance, he was an officer who brought restorative justice into our schools. I'm a strong supporter of restorative justice and actually have been a part of implementing restorative justice in our community. And I do believe that EROs are of value. However, we do really need to look at how we use officers, and that they are not there for enforcement actions solely. And we need to support them. They are part of a bigger collaboration that we have to take to ensure that our kids are safe in the classroom and our students are safe. And that involves a collaboration of behavioral health specialists, teachers, counselors, and law enforcement. So I do feel that they are part of the solution. It is important. I mean, we just had a school shooting recently And I see that a value. I think that when an incident happens in our schools, police officers will be called. And you never know which officer is going to be called and respond. I would rather have, as a mother of children in public schools, I would rather have an officer responding to an incident in our schools where that trust and relationship has already been built with our students and our staff.
Thank you. What do you identify as the biggest budget issues for the school district in 2018 and going forward, and how do you believe the board should assist in handling them?
Biggest budget issues?
Right.
I believe that we are, we are stuck with, we haven't been able to support our teachers with wage increase. I mean, I think that is really hard for me as a mother and as a leader in this community, that teachers do so much for our children, and they have not been able to get wage increases and support that way. I think that is huge. That is a budget issue for many reasons, right? Since Act 10, and we continue to struggle. I think the board needs to find innovative ways and strategies of how we support them, whether it be state certification and other ways to support our teachers, so that way we are able to keep our good teachers and support them and provide for advanced learning opportunities for them.
Recruiting and retaining an excellent and diverse staff is also an ongoing issue. What is the board's role to address this?
I believe we have to support programs like the current program that is in place, where it's a partnership with Madison College, where we are recruiting our own, right? We are getting our students interested in education and learning about that career opportunity. I did that in law enforcement, where we realized that we could not get the diversity that we needed among our colleges across the state, that we really needed to focus internally. So we started programs like the youth academies, where we would start getting our middle school students to think about a career in this area in law enforcement. So I believe we have to take that same initiative in education. I believe we can support that as a board by providing funding to initiatives such as that, and expand the partnerships within our community, communities like Urban League, Centro Hispano, to be very strategic and intentional about reaching our Black and Latino students to become interested in this field.
What one issue or two issues do you want to commit your passion and focus on during your time on the board?
Sure. I really want to, because of my experience has been around safety, law enforcement, I really want to tackle that issue. I hear from a lot of students and parents and students about how unsafe it is sometimes within the schools, and I believe we can, my perspective and experience in regards to public safety, both in law enforcement and the mayor's office, I do have experience in finding strategies of how to keep our community safe. I believe I bring that into the board. So that is something I want to focus on, is continuing the work in supporting, providing a healthy and safe environment for our children in our schools. And then also innovative classroom opportunities. I mean, really give opportunities for our teachers to teach in a way, as I mentioned earlier, right? Be innovative in the classroom, whether it be technology or finding ways where they know their students better than anybody else, and being flexible, allowing that flexibility for our teachers to be able to teach the way our students learn. So those are the two priorities that I would like to focus on. And also, I believe that our workforce is in need of people, our students, to be workforce ready. I want to focus on pathways for our students, providing other options for them during their time in high school, that if it's not a 4-year degree in education, I'm all in support of that. But what is it that we can do to help support our students who may not want to go that route, and provide them options of either going into the building trades, going into Madison College for a 2-year degree, because I mean, just providing options for our students, and that is what I'm wanting to support and bring.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience for your closing statement?
Sure. You know, I am a product of this community. As I mentioned, I am infused in this community. We need a community voice on the school board. I have Black and Latino children in our schools, and we have to have somebody who's on the board who understands them. Not only do I bring that perspective of a personal, where I am a product of our public schools, but I also I bring the perspective of understanding the city and how we connect our government to our community. I believe that that's what I bring to the school board, and I look forward to what's to come.
Thank you. I want to thank Gloria Reyes for speaking with us and the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. As with every election, please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.